our backs. In true Trotskyist tradition, we are also an internationalist party. Socialism cannot be properly achieved in any one single country in isolation. To effectively break down the global capitalist system, workers of all parts of the world need to unite and struggle however we can. And today, we are coming together here around the internationalist principle that working class people should be allowed to freely migrate across borders. In fact, we believe borders should be entirely open. Throughout modern times, the world's capitalist class has created numerous so-called free trade agreements to facilitate the passage of commodities between countries for corporations, while at the same time they restrict and even violently suppress the passage of people between countries, people who are just trying to survive and work and have a better life. We are all outraged to see his horrific kidnappings of documented and undocumented workers and others who may just look like immigrants, as they say. Deportations are up 78% under Trump, threats of federal agents coming to SF and to intimidate immigrants and activists, and actual federal agents having been sent to LA, Washington, D.C., and other cities, and so on. This event is an opportunity to talk about building a stronger and stronger movement to resist ICE and all right-wing attacks, and demanding jobs, housing, healthcare, and quality of life for all, regardless of immigration status. The FSP's branch in LA, where our featured speaker will be joining us from today, has initiated the United Front Working Group to get labor unions especially involved. Now we will also be mounting a united front effort against attacks on immigrants and working people here in San Francisco and the Bay Area. We want you all to be a part of it. But first, Amy has an announcement.
A very quick announcement, but exciting and important. You'll know immediately when you come through the door, we are a grassroots organization, but we like to reward you for your assistance in those grassroots efforts. So we're always fundraising. We have a great raffle prize today. Tickets are $1 each, 3 for $2.50. So you can see me or Bob over there. But it's actually a Viva la Raza book, which is by Yolanda, our speaker, and Megan Cornish. So it's a really excellent analysis of Chicano history and resistance. So just wanted to let you know that before we begin. And now I'll give it right back to Sam. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm going to introduce Yolanda.
Get back into the okay. Okay. That'll be important.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, I'll just.
Just raise your hand. I don't want to say anything. So, oh, thanks so much. I'll put your name on that. What's Lucy? Oh, here she is. Okay. So give me one moment. Wait for her to connect to audio. Thank you so much. Normal adoption thing. Thank you. Yes, one me. Okay, Sarah. That was Sarah with no H, right? Okay. I know Sarah's are very. I don't need the extra. You know, too much bag. You save on age, you know, when you're but I know that's an important question to Sarah. So pardon me. Thank you so much. We always fill in the gap that us. So we're all good?
Okay,
I think so.
Okay, ready to go? Okay. All right. So now to introduce Yolanda, today's speaker. and listen to what she has to share with us. So Yolanda Alaniz is a Chicano revolutionary feminist and leader in the Los Angeles branch of the Freedom Socialist Party, right there at ground zero in the fight against ICE kidnappings. She's been active in her community in resisting ICE through the West Adams Mid-City Defense. Yolanda has a long history in the labor movement and standing up for the rights of people of color, women, and the LGBTQ plus community. She is a member of the National Comrades of Color Caucus that helps set political policy around people of color and the co-author of the book Viva la Raza, the history of Chicano identity and resistance. Okay, so take it away, Yolanda.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday afternoon. I'm glad to be here. I can't speak for all of Los Angeles, all the organizations, but I'm going to tell you what the Freedom Socialist Party has been involved in. First, I want to set the stage to remind us where we're at with Los Angeles. I call it a military war zone. And then I want to talk about the resistance and the things we can call for and demand. In early June, I started a massive raids, which amounted to basically kidnapping people. They were dressed in their military fatigues with masks on and fully armed. They started to just grab people. They gave no information on who they were and why they were arresting people and where they were taking them. They have mainly arrested brown people around downtown Los Angeles and the outskirts of LA. It is continued to this day. Matter of fact, just a few days ago, you may have read, it was featured in the LA Times, that a TikTok streamer, Carlitos Ricardo Parillas, who has hundreds and thousands of followers, was kidnapped in front of Santee High School. ICE and LAPD remained present outside of the school. And the criticism the principal is getting on this is that he locked down the school for just an hour and expected the students to leave while ICE and the police were still outside of the school. And recently the students staged a walkout saying the principal should have protected them from ICE and LAPD. Federal agents continue to carry out immigration enforcement operations daily in Southern California. Just to name a few examples to give you a sense of what the community has had to endure. ICE has shown up at Home Depots. They pulled into a Home Depot parking lot with a Penske truck and then encouraged people to come and see them to find a job. And then they pulled up the box trucks, that big old door, and a bunch of ICE agents came out and arrested people. They're getting very bold. They go into Home Depots to scout out who's there so they can come in quickly and take them away, and they do it in just a matter of minutes. These thugs have stopped people and the youth, just walking their dogs. They have breaking down doors of residents. They have kidnapped day laborers, car washers, farm workers, and any place where workers hang out. Parents have been afraid to send their children to school. They're uneasy to even go out and about. Some workers have stopped going to work. And of course, this has put a financial strain on the immigrant community. And businesses are struggling because people are afraid to go out shopping. Workers have been killed. One man, as he escaped ICE, ran on top of a building and fell to his death. Once the Supreme Court sanctioned racial profiling, it's basically open season on the most vulnerable sectors of our working class. I myself started to carry my birth certificate, which I've never thought of doing. but these are extraordinary times. That I don't feel safe going out sometimes, and I go out only with my partner. The National Guard arrived soon after ICE, as you know. The military presence of the National Guard, armed with rifles, tear gas, and rubber bullets, is to instill fear and stop the resistance, which I'll talk about later. And there is LAPD itself, which is known for its racism and brutality. Who can forget that it was police brutality that happened in 1965 that resulted in the Watts Rebellion, and the National Guard was called in then. They were also called in as a result of the resistance and outrage of the beating of Rodney King in 1992. This was the last time we saw the National Guard in our city until currently. Mayor Bass gives lip service that the city will protect immigrants, but she has not stopped the LAPD from collaborating with ICE. Democrats have done absolutely nothing to stop ICE. They just chatter about it or get their photos taken, decrying how injustice all this is. The city keeps claiming we are a sanctuary city, but this means nothing. As my comrade Jess Stiefer from the LA branch said in her August 25th FS article, Los Angeles Ignites from Raids to Resistance. Jess said, LA is where Trump is stress testing fascism, isolate a defiant majority people of color stronghold, and crush it to demoralize the resistance nationwide. His goal is to fracture solidarity, normalize repression, and pre-exempt the revolutionary potential of an organized multiracial working class. When all this came down on LA, the feds and I'm just going to say the T administration, I don't even want to say his name. T administration did not show what was in store for them. I think they thought they could treat LA as a colonized country and there would be no resistance to his administration's military invasion. Angelitos are not going to take ISIS abuse of power, violation of constitutional rights, and their blatant racism. I believe LA set the stage for Washington, D.C., Chicago, Portland, San Francisco, and New York City to join together in fighting ICE and demanding that they get out of their cities. We are witnessing the uprising it's all over the media and TikTok recently. Resistance is not futile. I recall Comrades Nellie, or maybe it was Merle's poem that included an article they had read. It referred to a grandmother in China who was walking with her grandkids and was confronted by a tiger. They were pinned in on the trail with no escape route. The grandmother fought the tiger, pulling him down by his ears. She got the tiger to back off. She was quoted as saying, "When you're pinned in, all you can do is fight." I always recall this saying because that's exactly what we're up against. All we can do is fight. I'm very proud of the organizing against ICE, kidnappings that have been going on all over California and elsewhere, but mainly in Southern California, where I'm a resident. When ICE first arrived, it seemed like everyone was in the streets, taking over freeways, hanging out banners over the freeways, marching and playing music. We demonstrated lots of times in front of the LA Detention Center downtown. People from all walks of life, young and old, elders, people of color, women, LGBTQ+, socialists, good-hearted liberals, they were all there, and the unions as well, to defend immigrants. I haven't seen so many white folks on TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms speaking out against ICE. As we continue the fight in LA, so many people recognize that this is another fascist-like step by the administration. I have not seen this kind of action and fighting back since I protested against the Vietnam War. I was a student at the University of Washington and joined the Chicana movement. And we were, demanding that they send the troops home and stop the imperialist war and quit murdering our international brothers and sisters. The resistance have included Union del Barrio. They're a key to LA's resistance. They have spent years organizing rapid response networks and training communities to patrol and prevent abductions. They were ready. Union del Barrio took the lead to start organizing patrols against ICE. The Los Angeles FSP has had a long relationship with them when they organized the Southern California Immigration Coalition, and we were part of that. We trained with them early on regarding patrolling and have been in coalitions with them to organize May Day. They started the Committee for Self-Defense Coalition in February of this year. FSP is the Freedom Socialist Party in Los Angeles is part of that coalition. Over 80 organizations have joined. They conduct training for people so they're able to patrol neighborhoods. It's required that you are trained before you go out. We're not there to confront ICE or get arrested. We're, we don't want to take ourselves off the streets. The purpose is to document what is happening, to let the neighborhood know ICE is in the vicinity, and note the vehicles being used. Also, talking to community about knowing their rights. The coalition has almost 450 chat members and hundreds on the waiting list to be vetted. These meetings can range to about 100 or so people. Ron Goches, one of the main leaders of Union del Barrio, a teacher and a parent, along with the Party for Socialism and Liberation and CHIRLA, Coalition for Human Immigrant Rights, received a letter a few months ago demanding they cease and desist their activities and to keep their records intact so they could be reviewed at a later point. The community has, yes? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
The community defense has flourished citywide. Koreatown has launched its own relief funds for street vendors, legal clinics that have popped up. COVID era mutual and hotlines were reactivated to support immigrant families. The Korean organizations and others have done their own demos and rallies against ICE, and sometimes rallies are multilingual. My involvement has been in representing the Freedom Socialist Party has been in the West Adams Mid-City Defense. In June of this year, the West Adams area had its first meeting initiated by a member of the coalition. Wendy, my wife, and I live in the historical West Adams Sugar Hill neighborhood. Close to 50 people showed up from all over the neighborhood, not just West Adams. It was proposed we organize our own defense group. We organized the West Adams Mid-City Self-Defense. Other neighborhoods have done the same thing. We've selected a steering committee based on volunteers, and Wendy and I are both on it with 5 other people. Our general meetings are twice a month, and we usually have about 20 to 25 people. We recently voted to have one meeting in person and the other totally online to let more people be involved. The first hour we deal with business, and then we break into committees. Our committees are patrol, outreach, family support, art, schools, and unions. They meet sporadically as needed outside of our general meetings. Each committee has their own chats and are very active. These defense groups are popping up, like I said, all over LA. Besides being on the steering committee, I also represent the FSP on the school patrol team. And Val and Wendy are on the union team, and we try to do patrolling as much as we can as well. Our steering committee is amazing. They're strong and they're well organized. These are dedicated folks from the neighborhood, some retired, mainly working young people, parents, teachers, and very talented, strong women. I would have to say that organizing with the West Adams Mid-City Defense is one of the best groups I have ever worked with in my 50 years of organizing. We function democratically and people are committed to doing the work. So some consider themselves socialist, communist, feminist, and I'm sure we have Democrats and liberal types. But it doesn't matter. People are coming together and moving our work forward. There's a sense of helping each other. There's a sense of urgency. And I, of course, love working with young people as a former children's librarian and also working with teens. Let's be honest, though. This work is hard and very exhausting. It's exhausting emotionally. There's days I can't sleep because of what's happened in the community. We have had conversations with others in the group, and we acknowledge we're stretched. We were stretched, but we're stretching a little more to do this work because of how important it is. Frankly, all this shit can be very depressing. And I'm so glad I have these meetings and these great folks to work with. Otherwise, I think I would need therapy every day for probably every hour. People involved get stressed out, but we have each other to lean on. And we encourage people to take breaks when they need to. Another part of what the Freedom Socialist Party is doing is working with the bus drivers. There are 2 bus drivers who were originally fired for not letting ICE onto the buses. And Val represents us in this work. The bus operators have vowed to protect passengers by refusing entry to masked and unidentified ICE agents. There was so much community outrage that the bosses changed the firing to suspension without pay for 6 months. This is still horrific. Can you imagine not having a paycheck for 6 months?
Right.
There is a united front that started in September to support the bus drivers. This is truly a united front. There's a variety of unions involved. It's a coalition of union laborers, transit workers, and members of various advocacy groups and socialist organizations. Their demands, of course, is to lift the suspension and provide them with full back pay and clear their disciplinary records. Our third area of resistance is our work in the United Front Working Group, which we began in February 2025. Comrades Jess and Val have taken the lead on this. Its primary purpose at the beginning was to educate about fascism. We recognize we are not totally in fascism as yet. The working class and their unions have not been defeated, but we are certainly facing fascist-like tactics from the state. Our primary focus right now is reaching out to unions and doing trainings about how to resist ICE when they come to the workplace and how to get unions involved in this fight. Comrade Jess and our supporter, longtime supporter Wendy, have done 2 successful labor trainings. The call for United Front. This is a strategy of the United Front was first developed by Leon Trotsky as a way to fight the fascists. He wrote about this while he was witnessing the rise of fascism in Germany. Trotsky was one of the leaders of the Russian Revolution and a Bolshevik, even though Stalin tried to paint him as a counter-revolutionary and spread lies, and eventually had him killed when he was in exile in Mexico. The elements of a united front is to unite on a common issue or cause led by the working class, and anyone who agrees with the issue or cause can join. The most important thing is that labor is involved. In order to build a united front, labor must enter the fight. Labor provides the muscle. They are well organized and disciplined. They represent the working class. And of course, they have the monetary to be able to sustain the organizing. And I'm not necessarily talking about the bureaucrats, even though we do have to work with them, but I'm talking about the rank and file, who are always more progressive than its own leadership. This does not mean we don't work with the bureaucrats, but sometimes we do have to work with the leadership in the union and win them over. And this can be done with the pressure of the rank and file. Many unions have issued strong public statements condemning the raids. LA teachers organized to support undocumented students, coordinated rapid response networks, and track ICE activity. When the Service Employees International Union leader, David Huerta, was arrested for protesting the treatment of garment workers and raiding those workers, union members flooded downtown in LA and the cities nationwide to protest his arrest. These actions must go further. Labor unions must coordinate with grassroots defense groups to stop repression at its core. The forces of capital are organized. We must be as well, if not more, organized. Picket lines, street patrols, and mass refusals. This is a kind of power that can quash the seeds of fascism and lay the groundwork for a general strike. A general strike would bring big business and mega corporations to their knees. Workers who produce the wealth for the rich class can withhold their labor power. With federal employees fired or not being paid, eventually they'll stop going to work because they can't work for nothing. Nothing does not pay the bills. Those of us who have been in the labor movement for a long time, I've belonged to several unions throughout my working life. I know that a general strike cannot be organized via the internet, as much as we would like it to be. Yes, the internet can help us, but we need actual people convincing and educating the rank and file and its union leadership and the working folks in general about the need for a general strike. If you call it too many times, like it's happened in LA, it really doesn't mean anything to working people. They don't take it seriously. So we have to really build one within the unions to take it seriously and do it right. Besides labor leading a united front, they must build their own party with its own voice. Quit kissing the Democratic Party booty. Enough already.
Sorry.
Labor needs to lead and fund a labor party that truly represents the working class and will stand up for the most oppressed and vulnerable. Wouldn't it be great to vote for someone we want in office who stands up for the working class interest? It would be a beautiful thing. And I'll just end with something that Gloria Martin used to say. She was one of our leaders and founders of both Radical Women and the Freedom Socialist Party. She used to say, we just need one small American revolution to take this sucker down. So I'll just end with ICE out of LA, ICE out of everywhere, chinga la migra.
Excellent. Yeah.
And then in discussion, I didn't get to have time to really develop this, even though I have some ideas. I'd like us to maybe focus on why is this happening now? That's what people are asking. Why, why is this going on? What is going on? Why? Why us?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so that's my presentation. Thank you.